Hello, doctor.
Hi, doctor.
Welcome back. So, can you see my slides?
Not yet, doctor.
Not yet.
I thought I presented. What about now?
Yes, doctor, we can see it.
Alright, now we're going to talk about arms and cups. Can you see my arm, my bulgy muscular arm? We're going to talk about arms and cops, the police, to come and arrest you for not being, grammatically conscious or grammar conscious. We're gonna call the cops, muscular cops, heavy arms to. So, what are the arms and what are the cops? Writing skills is step 3 of the writing process, revising and editing. An overview. Once you have put your ideas on paper, step 2, writing, drafting, you should feel proud of your accomplishment. But your work is not done yet, as we have seen in your presentation. There is a lot obviously to do. You still need to see how effectively you have communicated your thoughts by making sure that each sentence is grammatical, error-free, and in terms of mechanics also correct. It is time to turn to the important step of revising and editing. It is time to check your arms and to check your cops. The last step in the writing process involves revising and editing. When you revise something you wrote, you look for ways to improve its content and organization. And so, revising deals with content and organization. You also need to edit or proofread what you wrote to polish it and to make sure it is error-free. You correct errors or mistakes in grammar, spelling, and punctuation. So, revising and editing, these are two processes that are concerned with making our piece publishable, making our piece effective, making our piece memorable and persuasive. They involve two different types of enhancement. Revision or revising is a macro process that deals with content and organization, but editing is a micro process that deals with grammar and mechanics, and so they are not overlapping, or they are not the same or interchangeable. Revising. Don't forget that writing is a process. An important part of the process is revising. Morphologically speaking, the word revision is a combination of the word vision and the prefix re, which means again. Morphologically speaking, when we analyze the structure of the word morphemically, when you revise, then you see again. And writing is rewriting. That is, you look at your writing again, your first draft, to see how you can improve it. Revising is a macro process dealing with content and organization, as opposed to editing, which is a micro process dealing with grammar and mechanics. When you revise your writing, your first draft, you can do several things. You can add new ideas, you can eliminate irrelevant sentences, rearrange ideas. You do the arms. When you revise, you check your arms. You check your arms. You check first okay, so revising using the arms method. Revising your writing with ARMS. So where A stands for add new ideas. R stands for remove ideas that are not relevant. M for move ideas from a place to another. Maybe this is a supporting sentence that should be brought up or down, or a developing sentence that should be moved up or down. So you move. And as substitute, where you delete something and you substitute it with another. So when you revise, you check your arms. You may add, you may remove, you may move, you may substitute. And so again here, in revising, you may add new ideas, you may remove some ideas, irrelevant sentences, you may move ideas, rearrange, and you may substitute some ideas by deleting them and writing other ideas. Let's watch this video about the ARMS method. So this is an acronym that can help you when revising to know what to revise and look for. Remember, ARMS is an acronym or a mnemonic if you like. So remember the ARMS method one, revising. Add, remove, move, substitute. Let's watch this video to know more about the ARMS method.
Today we're going to talk about using the ARMS method to revise your writing.
How is the sound quality? Fine?
Remember that revising is the third step of the writing process.
Just tell me please, confirm. Is the sound okay? Why don't you respond? Sharmila, can you hear the sound?
No, doctor, I think you're lagging.
Yeah, you're lagging a bit, doctor.
Okay, so if that's the case, let's use another technique where we present using the window. Stop presenting and then present again using a tab. Present using a tab, and let me go to the internet using the ARMS method. Revising using the ARMS method. Videos. Okay, here we are. How is it now?
Today we're going to talk about using the ARMS method to revise your writing.
We can hear it.
Remember that revising
But we
is
can't
the
see the
third
video.
step.
We can't see the video, doctor.
Alamak.
I think we are not sharing.
Try presenting.
The writing. We're going to talk about using the ARMS
Now?
method to revise your writing.
Doctor, we cannot see the video.
Revising is the
We
third
see E marks.
I think you're showing the wrong tab, doctor. This one may be confidential.
Yeah, doctor, you're showing
The
e-marks,
video?
not the video.
Like there's no password.
Still, you cannot
step
see?
of the writing process. First, we engage in pre-writing, then drafting, and then revising.
You cannot see?
ARMS, or ARMS, is an acronym for add, remove, move, and
You still cannot
substitute.
see? I need someone to respond to me. You still cannot see? Drop B. What's that?
Hello internet.
Okay. Let me.
Following these 4 steps
Can you see?
will help you revise your writing. First, let's talk about the A, add.
So we can see, yeah.
Doctor, I found the video on YouTube. You want me to present?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll present it, alright? Can you guys see?
Yes.
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 We can.
Alright.
Yes, Black, we can.
Today we're going to talk about using the ARMS method to revise your writing. Remember that revising is the 3rd step of the writing process. First, we engage in pre-writing, then drafting, and then revising. ARMS, or ARMS, is an acronym for add, remove, move, and substitute. Following these 4 steps will help you revise your writing. First, let's talk about the A, add. As you begin to revise your writing, ask yourself these questions. Can I add anything to my writing to improve it? Do I need to add any words or sentences? What transition words can I add to help improve my writing? Can I add some descriptive details or appeals to the 5 senses? For example, in the sentence, my favorite snack is popcorn, the writer could choose to revise the sentence by adding the descriptive adjectives buttery and crunchy before the noun popcorn. Next, let's talk about the R, remove. As you revise your writing, ask yourself, what unnecessary words or phrases should I remove? Are there any sentences that don't make sense? Are there any sentences that don't support my topic sentence?
Irrelevant sentences.
Let's take a look at this example sentence. Going to the movies is a fantastic activity and so fun. Describing going to the movies as fun after already calling it fantastic seems a little redundant and unnecessary.
Right.
So that part can easily be removed.
Remove.
Now let's talk about the M, move. During the revising step of the writing process, ask yourself, would this sentence fit better somewhere else? Should I reorder my paragraphs? Can I move words or phrases around to make more sense? Let's look at this example sentence. She served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. Here we have a misplaced modifier. On paper plates, that needs to be moved next to the word it modifies, sandwiches. After moving the modifier phrase, the sentence now reads, she served sandwiches on paper plates to the children. Now the sentence makes more sense. Finally, let's talk about the S, substitute. As you revise your writing, ask yourself, which words can I substitute to make my writing more interesting? Did I use any boring or overused words that I can replace? Can I replace a comparison or description with figurative language? In our example sentence, he was so happy when he won the spelling bee, we can substitute the overused words so happy with a more interesting adjective,
He was elated.
elated. Now it reads, he was elated when he won the spelling bee. So remember, after you finished your rough draft, use the ARMS method to revise your writing. Add words, sentences, details, and transition words, very boring or off-topic words, phrases, or sentences. Move phrases, sentences, or paragraphs that fit better somewhere else in your writing. Substitute overused words with more interesting ones. Replace comparisons or descriptions with figurative language to make your writing more interesting. Once you've completed this step, you're ready to edit your writing.
Alright, so that was the ARMS method. So please, when moving into revising, remember the ARMS. Remember to go through these 4 elements of the ARMS method to see if there are sentences that are irrelevant to be taken out, to remove, or something to be added to make your argument stronger, to add, or to move something from a place to another within a sentence or intrasentential. So like a sentence from one part of the paragraph to another, and substitution if certain elements have to be taken out and replaced by another. So the ARMS method is a neat acronym or mnemonic that can help you remember. Here is the word mnemonic in case. Is a neat mnemonic to help you remember these 4 steps in the revising process. So as you can see, as you have seen, revising deals with content and organization. Content and organization. We're not yet concerned now with grammar and mechanics. So this is another step within the revising and editing stage. So once the content and the organization is fine, you look at each sentence individually and you check it in light of the things we have gone through in the class. And let me just remind you of these things without details. All right, can you see the slides?
No, doctor.
No, doctor.
What's wrong today with my slides? Okay, now. Also no? Jennifer, also no? No? Yes? No? Losing connection. Turn off the TV for a while. Teaching online is disgusting. Many challenges.
Oh. Welcome back, Doctor.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay, can you see?
Surprise.
Can you see? Can you see the slides?
No.
Still no,
No,
doctor.
no, no.
The slides. You cannot
we
see
still
the slide.
present again.
Oh, I have to present again.
Maybe Zach can present it and the slides to me. Oh, okay, we can see it.
Ah, yeah.
We can see it now, doctor.
Alright, so done with revising, which is a macro process that deals with content and organization, and more specifically the addition, the removal, the moving, and the substitution. You move on and you look at your cops. You begin to edit. So when you edit, you look at the cops. What are the cops? Not the police officers. The C stands, the first C in cops stands for, let's see, capitalization. The O for overall look, and the P for punctuation, and the S for spelling. So these are the things to look for when you move to editing. You look for the cops. Ensure that each sentence is capitalized, first word of every sentence, proper nouns, I. Overall look, indent every paragraph, for example, make sure the spacing is right spacing, neatness. So overall look. Punctuation, every sentence must be capitalized. Punctuation, I mean. At the end of each sentence, commas, quotation marks, the types of punctuation that we have already gone through in an earlier class when we talked about mechanics, and they are also repeated in this lesson. So just make sure that you are familiar with these punctuation marks to use them correctly. And the spelling. So this is another mnemonic or acronym to help you remember exactly what it is to look for when you go through the micro process of editing. COPS, capitalization, overall look, where you look for, as I said, the indentation, spacing, neatness, etc., etc. We're going now to watch a video about COPS. Let me stop it presenting and then represent using the tab method. I'll go to the internet and write the website. Okay, can you see and hear?
Yes, we can hear.
And see?
We can't.
No, we cannot see.
Alamak. So why is it that you can see only or hear only?
Have you tried presenting the whole tab, Doctor?
Now?
Hi guys, in this video, I will
You
share
can
a
see the
Doctor,
wrong
you're
tab.
presenting the WhatsApp.
Sorry?
You're presenting your WhatsApp.
What's that?
It's the wrong tab.
This is the one.
with you about revising and
We are
editing
presenting the
your
wrong.
essay.
We are actually presenting your WhatsApp feed.
Alamak, what's going on? Here it is.
The purpose of revising and editing your essay
Is it a problem with the internet?
Okay, now.
is to make necessary corrections and
Yeah, now we can
strengthen
see
your
it.
paper.
At last. Okay.
Hi guys, in this video I will share a few things with you about revising and editing your essay. The purpose of revising and editing your essay is to make necessary corrections and strengthen your paper. So, when you're revising, I want you to think about arms, and when you're editing, I want you to think about cops. So let's talk about what these words mean. ARMS stands for add, remove, move, and substitute. So when you are revising your essay, you want to add details. Make sure you've added all of your transition words. If you're missing a hook or one of your endings, you want to add those in when you are revising your essay. You want to remove any repeated ideas and any sentences that are not a part of the topics that you planned. You want to move sentences around so that this essay flows better, and you want to move words that are causing your essay not to flow well. You also want to substitute. That means trade boring words for interesting ones, and then rewrite any sentences that would cause your reader to be confused. When you edit the paper, you want to think about the word cops. The C is for capitalization. The first word of every single sentence must be capitalized, and you must also capitalize proper nouns. Then take a look at the O, which stands for overall look of your essay. Did you indent every paragraph? Are your words spaced out well enough so that the reader can understand what you wrote? And what about that handwriting? Is it neat enough for other people to read? Or is it just neat enough for you to read? The P is for punctuation. Is there a punctuation mark at the end of every single one of your sentences? Do you have commas where you need them? For example, if you're listing something. And do you have quotation marks everywhere where you used a direct quote from the text? The S in COPS is for spelling. Sound out tricky words and spell them the best way that you can. But remember, if a word is used in the passage and you write that word in your essay, it must be spelled correctly. So take the time to look back in the passage to get the correct spelling. Remember, it's best to find your own mistakes and correct them. So please, please, please don't skip this very important step. Now click on the next video to learn about citing text evidence and elaboration.
All right. So let us carry on. No, this is the wrong one. So, as you revise and edit, then you catch mistakes, different problems. So, when editing, we said editing, after you revise your paragraph for content and organization, you still need to edit it. Editing means looking at each sentence carefully, sentence by sentence, and correcting errors or mistakes in grammar, spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. In grammar and mechanics. So editing is a micro, small, detailed process dealing with grammar and mechanics. More specifically, we look at these things, these issues that we have gone through today, but please consult the textbook, and even if you need, you can refer to a grammar book to look at these issues in which you may make mistakes. So study these topics, make sure that each sentence, the subject of it and the verb agree, that each subject and verb agrees, that there's also agreement of your nouns and pronouns, that in terms of clarity, one of the elements of good writing, each pronoun refers clearly to a noun, otherwise replace the pronoun with a noun. Agreement of possessive pronouns and adjectives. So these issues we have talked about. I have no time to go through them, and they are not meant to be discussed really in detail in a 3-hour class weekly. So losing connection. I'll turn it off for. Let me complete my class.
And also, Muhammad, when we do enough his, it came to you. Muhammad's, it takes more internet. Muhammad! Muhammad, what's your name? Try to on and off. Oh, did you see it? It might work like now. It's open.
Reading.
I don't know why I did.
Please back up, just drool.
Come back, doctor. Hi, doctor. Welcome back.
I don't know why at this time, I keep losing connection. Around 1, this usually happens.
Yeah.
I think the class is over. What can I say? What can I add? So I will send you the slides. I think all you need is just to, as I said, to focus on the details of the chapter to enhance your ability at revising and editing. Remember the two methods, the arms for revising and cops for editing. So I think that's it. The time is up, and we keep losing connection. Excuse me. Can you go to page 61? Avoiding run-on sentences and comma splices. There are 3 ways to correct run-on sentences. Can we look at these 3 ways before we end the class? Because I would like to add a way not mentioned in the book. Are you following?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Okay. Now we know what is a run-on sentence. So two complete sentences. A run-on sentence. By the way, we talked about this also in Daddy class about the grammar and mechanics. You can refer back to the contents of Daddy class. You can refer back to this handout. Can you see? I am showing you something. So go back to the content of that. So a run-on sentence is actually two sentences, two complete ideas joined together wrongly. So let's look at some way, or the most common ways, the ways to correct a run-on sentence, and make sure that you don't have run-on sentences, because this is a common mistake done by many students. Use punctuation, usually a period, to separate the two sentences. So one way to fix a run-on sentence is to separate the two ideas into two separate sentences. For example, she loves to cook, she is always in the kitchen. So add a full stop after cook and then capitalize the next to make them two separate simple sentences. So this is one way. Another way is to use a comma plus a coordinating conjunction to make it a compound sentence. Instead of having two simple sentences, use the right coordinating conjunction, the right conjunction, to make it a compound, to make them a compound sentence. And so depending on the meaning, you can use one of the coordinating conjunctions, one of the 7 coordinating conjunctions in fanboys, a comma and then the conjunction. For example, the movie was boring. Look at the correct version, comma, but we watched it anyway. So avoid writing run-on sentences. Two ideas joined together wrongly. Either you express them as two sentences, simple, or find one sentence but use a conjunction, the right conjunction, coordinating conjunction preceded by a comma, or you can make it, you can use subordination, not coordination. That is using a subordinating conjunction. Look at number 3, flip the page. Use a subordinating conjunction. You can see a list of subordinating conjunctions on page which page?
62.
I have seen a list on page 59. In 59 you have a list of subordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are only 7 in English, 7 grouped in the mnemonic fanboys. So here you have the most common subordinating conjunctions on page 59. And so the third way to fix a run-on sentence is to use a subordinating conjunction. Look at page 62, 3. So you make the two ideas, you join them to make them to make them a complex sentence. So you can have a number of choices. Actually, a number of choices. You can separate the two ideas to make them two simple, complete sentences, or using coordination. Coordination meaning equal, to have a compound sentence. So you add a comma and then a coordinating conjunction. The third mechanism is to use subordination to make it to make the two clauses a complex sentence, complex, one under the other, using one independent clause and another dependent clause. For example, I'm very hungry, I didn't eat breakfast. So, I'm very hungry because I didn't eat breakfast. Or, because I didn't eat breakfast, I am hungry. If you use the other, if you begin with the subordinate in conjunction, you need a comma. Because I didn't eat breakfast, comma, I'm very hungry. But if you don't start with the subordinate in conjunction, there is no need for the comma. Okay? Now there is also one more way, not added here in the book, that you can use to fix a run-on sentence, and that is the use of a semicolon. A semicolon. If you look under the punctuation mark semicolon, you will know that the semicolon is used to connect two ideas that are related. So a writer uses a semicolon when he does not wish to separate two ideas to make them complete, to make them two complete sentences. A sentence expresses an idea. Sometimes when two ideas are related, a writer opts for a semicolon to join them. Because a sentence, a full stop indicates like complete separation. Full stop, complete separation. But a semicolon indicates a kind of relationship between the two clauses. Closeness in meaning. So there is a reason why a writer sometimes uses a semicolon. Whenever you see in punctuation now a semicolon, stop for a while, you will find that the two clauses are related and the writer does not wish to separate them completely by having a full stop. So one way to fix a run-on sentence is to use a semicolon, as I said, especially if the meaning of the two clauses is close. And so go back to page 61. Look at the first example. Use punctuation. Usually a period. This is if you want to have two sentences. Simple. But a semicolon if the meaning is related. Excuse me, you can even write here on your own notebook now. Use a period to separate the two sentences, or use a semicolon if the meaning of the two clauses is related. If the meaning is related. If you do not wish to separate them completely. Have you made this note? Added it to the textbook? And so looking at the example, she loves to cook, she's always in the kitchen. Please do not write run-ons. Check every sentence. If you want to have more than one idea, meaning more than one clause, make sure that you combine these clauses correctly by using a compound sentence or a complex sentence or two separate sentences. Simple. Okay? Listen to this part of my video again and again. If you can get access to the video. Here we have a separation between the two clauses by using a full stop. If we want to use a semicolon, how do we fix it using a semicolon? Simple. Look at the chat. What's the first clause? She loves to cook. She loves to cook. Use a semicolon and then the other clause. She is always in the kitchen. Can you see? So this is one way also. So there are four ways to fix a run-on sentence. But you use the semicolon, as I said, when you do not wish to convey false full separation between two ideas. When you feel that they are related, look at the semicolon, go to punctuation in the book. This is on page 69. 69. So, when do we use a semicolon? Kong, can you read?
Use a semicolon to combine two very closely related complete sentences.
Yes, so when you do not wish to convey full separation, when the ideas are related, when you want to convey to the reader or the listener that these two clauses or ideas are related, I want to convey them as being close. Look at the examples. I am writing on my own textbook. When you do not wish to convey full separation. Separation, meaning between the two ideas. Len is saving his money. He wants to buy a new car. Fine. If you do not want to use a semicolon, make them two simple sentences, full stop, and then capitalize. Or a coordinated conjunction preceded by a comma. For example, Len is saving his money, comma, and he wants to buy a new car. Or you can use a subordinating conjunction if you want to make it a complex sentence. For example, Len is saving his money, therefore he wants to buy a new car. And it's always a good idea to use a variety of sentences in your writing. Use simple sentences, use compound sentences, use complex sentences, and use even complex sentences. So choose a variety of sentences. Using simple sentences all the time can make your writing boring and sounds choppy, disconnected. Using, on the other hand, long sentences all the time, I mean complex sentences or compound sentences, can also make your reading difficult. So use a variety of structures. So you need to use all these types of structures. Any question?
No.
So I think that's it. I just wanted to highlight this semicolon choice when it comes to run-on sentences, because it is not mentioned in the book. Please go through these structures. If you have a problem, you can either consult me or consult your grammar teacher or consult a grammar book. But make sure that you understand these and that when you revise your paragraphs, as you look for your COPs, punctuation, capitalization, and these grammatical systems, the 80 grammatical systems, okay? These ones. Can you see the slides? Maybe not now because I think I stopped presenting. I want to end the presentation. So, make sure that you go through, that you check these one by one. All right? You may want to think of an acronym, a mnemonic that can group all these systems. Try to play around to help you remember them. Try to a short phrase, maybe a short phrase. Try to group all these in a short phrase, a mnemonic to help you memorize or remember the things you need to: subject verb agreement, pronoun noun agreement. If you have a gerund, make sure there is a verb. If you have the infinitive as a subject, make sure that there is a verb. Fragments to be avoided as sentence, non-sentence. Avoid run-on sentences. Using parallel structure. If you use an adjective, use an adjective. If you use a noun, use a noun. So look for these issues. I am sure if you, as I said, if you pay attention to this unit, as Shamila said at the beginning, it will transform your piece of writing from being a mediocre piece of writing to an exceptional piece. All the best, guys. But before that, the assignment of this week, or even before the assignment, please go to page 77 quickly. 77. Do not skip the exercises, including the UB editor. I have no time to go through it now, but please go at home. If you do not spot the 12 mistakes, there are 12 mistakes, then consult some of your classmates. If you eventually cannot find them, then ask me later on. Now, chapter highlights. Zach, complete the paragraph below by filling the blanks in the blanks. You do not have to use the exact words from the chapter as long as the ideas are correct. Okay, begin, Zach. The last step, quickly.
The last step in writing process involves revising and editing.
Revising that sound and editing.
Revising and editing.
Okay. Sharmila, when you revise something you wrote, you should look for ways you can improve it. Improve it. How do you improve it? By looking for the arms. By checking your arms. So when you revise your writing, you can add new ideas, eliminate irrelevant sentences, and rearrange ideas. In short, arms. Arms. You can add new ideas, you can remove irrelevant ideas, you can move ideas. Okay? Arms. Between brackets, arms. First of all, make sure there is a clear, when you revise, when you look for content and organization, there is a clear topic, sentence. Then you check to see if all the supporting sentences relate to the topic. If you find a sentence that does not relate to the topic, what do? Delete it. Remove it. The arms. As you read, you check the organization. Ask yourself if the sentences are arranged in a logical order to ensure coherence. Be sure you have included discourse markers, transitions, discourse markers, cohesive devices, to guide the reader from one idea to the next. It is also important to revise your writing so that you have supported the topic with specific evidence such as details, facts, examples, and reasons. Finally, when you edit your writing, you correct the grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors. Cops. You correct your cops. In one word, you correct your cops. Details, capitalization, overall look, punctuation, spelling. Grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors. The assignment of this week is found on page 76. 76. So please, putting it all together. Individually, look at the assignment on page 76 at home. do the necessary, meet your classmates, select the best piece, attach your works, and then send it to me as usual. So now you're going to put it all together. The 3 steps: pre-writing, where you pre-write, and then writing, where you draft your first draft, where you put your ideas on paper, and then you revise and edit. So now we're going to put all what we have learned in one shot. Look at the topic, plan for it, brainstorm ideas, make an outline, then first draft, put your ideas on paper, then revise and edit. So the details of the assignment are found on this page, 76. This will pave the way to essay writing, which we're going to look at beginning from next week. This will pave the way to essay writing. This assignment on this page actually is like, I mean, the writer is using the word article, not paragraph, because here you need to put more ideas, not just one idea. Look at the beginning of the page. You're going to write an article, in other words, an essay. But the writer is not using essay because we haven't talked about it yet. So making it, unclear. For the travel section of a newspaper, the focus of your article will be how to plan a trip that will be not just economical, one idea, a paragraph, but economical, educational, and fun. 3 paragraphs, plus an introductory paragraph, plus a concluding paragraph. So this is like an essay actually. But I just write what you think now. I won't make it difficult. But this looks like the beginning of the essay now. So if you are to have a thesis statement, we're going to introduce this concept next week. Thesis. It may sound like this. There are 3 things to do if you're looking for a trip that is economical, educational, and fun. If you're looking for a trip that is economical, educational, and fun, there are 3 things to do. As I said, there are 3 things to do if you're looking for a trip that is economical, educational, and fun. So it's like you're gonna have 1, 2, 3. To have a trip that is educational, economical, and fun, you need to have 1. Anyhow, just produce something. It can be a paragraph at this stage. Think about it, do your best, and no worries. Okay? Any question? Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, doctor. See you next week. Goodbye, doctor. Goodbye, doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.